east.
While Steve Blonder viewed the phenomenon from the balcony of his home, 30 miles to the northwest, truck driver Bill Greiner was checking out a different kind of air show from a road on the outskirts of Luke Air Force Base. Greiner's eyewitness account suggests that the military was well aware of the unidentified lights in the sky.
I watched two jets come out of Luke, and they come out real quick. They had their afterburners on. They had huge flames coming off of them. And then as soon as those two were airborne, another one come out, a third one come out from behind it. And as soon as they were airborne, all three jets made an abrupt turn and headed for the closest object to the base, which was in the southwest. And as soon as the jets got to the object, it shot straight up and disappeared right in front of me.
Air traffic controllers at Sky Harbor Airport noticed the lights hovering on the southern horizon.
On the evening of March 13th, I was on duty with 7 other controllers, and to the south of the airport over South Mountain, we observed 5 to 6 very bright, amber-colored, equally spaced apart lights. All of our rivals that evening were inbound from the east, landing to the west, so we thought that they probably weren't airplanes.
Oddly, these objects visible with the naked eye did not register on the control tower's radar. And some pilots flying in the area soon became concerned for their own safety.
There was one report, a query from a pilot in a Bonanza that was talking to our adjacent facility on one of the frequencies and asked something to the effect that, hey, what are these lights around me or over me? And the controller responded, well, I don't have anything on radar.
Come on, be an aircraft or something.
The Discovery Channel invites you to join the exploration.
The facts seem clear. At approximately 8:30 p.m., an enormous V-shaped object glided silently across the state of Arizona. 90 minutes later, a formation of eerie lights appeared somewhere southwest of the city of Phoenix. These two events were seen by hundreds of ordinary citizens. Not surprisingly, the local media became a focal point of controversy.
12 News, Blair Meeks. A typical night in the newsroom. You're standing around, nothing's really happening. Then all of a sudden, phone calls start happening. Boom. What are these strange lights? What are these strange lights? We're seeing lights over here. We're seeing lights over there. I mean, we must have had 24 phone calls within a 10 or 15 minute period.
This is video of what thousands of Arizonans saw March 13th.
It's been the talk of the town.
You're watching News 15 at 5.
The answers are elusive.
Many of you saw this row of lights as they hovered above the valley horizon.
The mystery of the Phoenix lights will be featured tomorrow morning on Good Morning America.
Well, the first day, it was chaos because there were so many witnesses and we didn't know who had footage and who didn't have footage, and we were trying to locate footage right away.
Gordon, welcome to Strauss's place. Tell me exactly what you saw.
I look at these things, and there were no blinking lights, none of the blinking lights.
What time was this?
From the moment I went on the air, my phones filled up. It was such a surge of phone calls that we almost lost our switchboard.
It was hard to wade through all the information and try and piece together what actually did occur, because some people reported seeing lights at 8:15, other people reported seeing lights at 10:15, some people saw them as stationary objects over the city, some people saw them as moving objects coming in from the north.
Some of the witnesses we talked to seemed very objective, just curious. They would bring us tapes and say, I don't know what this is, but I got it on tape. I'm not some kook out there. I just happened to be outside my house and got these pictures, but I can't explain it.
I don't think there was any acceptance at all by the media until it was obvious there were thousands of people that saw them.
The various media outlets in Phoenix were inundated by phone calls on March 13th. But apparently, according to military spokesmen, the switchboard was quiet at nearby Luke Air Force Base.
It's my understanding that at least one spokesman from Luke Air Force Base, acting in an official capacity, the following day, that is the 14th of March, represented that Luke Air Force Base had taken no telephone calls about the incident that had occurred the night before. Well, that's an interesting statement because I called them twice that night myself, based on having been given their number by a number of the people who had called us with sighting reports, who said that they had already called Luke Air Force Base. That's a pretty prominent object in the night sky. Moreover, my long-distance telephone log shows very clearly that I did call the base switchboard that night and had lengthy conversations, 5 or 6 minute conversations. Specifically, it was with operator number 5, very nice, very accommodating young woman who admitted to me that her switchboard that night, the 13th of March, had been, to use her term, paralyzed by calls to the switchboard about the object that had flown over Arizona earlier that night.
With no explanation forthcoming, the media frenzy died down. For nearly 2 months, the mysterious lights seen above Phoenix remained just that, a mystery. Despite requests from dozens of eyewitnesses and concerned citizens, no federal, state, or local government agency investigated the incident.